What is your process when you're making award redemptions, when you're planning a big trip? Well, I thought it might be helpful if I went through my process that Nona and I use when we go through and book our travels to Europe or to Asia or wherever it is that we may be going. Kind of how this starts out, when I start the process, what I do first, second, and third, and just kind of walk you through how it works when we're booking some of our great aspirational trips that we just so enjoy. So if you would, hit the like and subscribe button and let me walk you through it. So when we're about to book a trip, oftentimes we're looking right about a year in advance. So we'll discuss our schedule. We'll talk about, well, when are you available? When am I available? What can we look at? What times will not work? What do we have work commitments for? Now, our schedules are fairly flexible, so oftentimes many dates will work, but there are a few dates that won't. So that's the first thing we got to look at is our schedule and kind of block out when won't work for us and when will. Now yours may be much more restrictive. You may have to go on spring break or during summer vacation or something of that nature. So that's going to look different for everybody. But I think the first step is you've got to look at your schedule and work things out there. The second thing is you got to look at your budget. And there's two parts to this. There's looking at your cash budget and there's looking at your points budget. Now, what I mean by that is you've got to look at how much can we spend on this as far as out of our pocket, because almost always there are expenses on any trip. Even if you book it with hotel points or free night certs and with airline miles, you're still going to have some out-of-pocket expenses. There may be taxes and fees on some of your stays or on your flights. There may be different things, excursions and things that you can't pay for with points. And there's probably going to be a lot of meals and entertainment and souvenirs, all that kind of stuff. So you'll want to look and say, what is our budget? Then you want to look over and say, what is our points and miles budget? How many points do we have in hotel systems? And how many points do we have with the different airlines or with transferable currencies? Because that's going to tell you, like for instance, if you only have Chase points, you can't really look at flights on American Airlines. You have to limit it to the different partners that are available to you. So that's what you got to look at. You got to evaluate your budget, both your cash budget and your points budget. That's the next step. Now, the first thing I look for when it comes to our big aspirational trips way out in advance is I'm looking for flights first. Now, there's several ways to do this. If you've got a destination you want to go, well, then that's going to limit you, and that's okay. But if you're like Nona and I, we let the location and the time be flexible to the price and the deal. So I'll start looking and I'll run searches on things like points.me and Points Yeah, and especially seats.aero. And I will run those searches from anywhere in the United States, being willing to take a positioning flight from where we live to places like Chicago or New York or LA. And I'll run those searches because we're really looking for business class primarily, but if we can't get that, premium seats. So we want to fly in style. So I'm looking for great deals, and I'll say from the USA to anywhere, and I'll kind of look for a big date range, and we'll see what good deals we can find. Now, if I find something really good, regardless of the program, and we're excited about it and we're set on the dates, then I'll go ahead and book that. Like, for instance, several years ago, I found a great, I think it was 45,000 points in business class on Turkish Airlines to Greece. And I found it and I booked it. Now, they have high cancellation fees and it's difficult. So I knew I was going to be locked in, and I do that. Now, if I can't find anything really good that we want, then what I might do is find something that's cancelable that would be acceptable. So like, for instance, a premium economy or an economy seat on one of the domestic airline sites that are fully cancelable. So we might say, well, we want to go to Asia. I don't find anything good to Asia, so I might just book a 38,000 point flight on American Airlines to Japan, and knowing that I can cancel that, or with Delta or with United. All of those, you can have free cancellations even to the moment of departure. So that's one way to kind of get a placeholder on your flights and then be looking for other options as time goes by. Now, The next step is when I'm kind of set on where we're going, I start looking for hotels. Now, Nona and I do things a little differently because we have this YouTube channel and we also have a travel channel. And so we review hotels. So we're often staying one night, moving hotels, staying another night, moving hotels, staying another night. Or we might stay one night and then 2 nights or whatever it may be because we're reviewing hotels. I understand a lot of people won't do that. But for us, it's booking quite a few different hotels. So I'll look at things like what free night certificates do I have? What points do I have in different ecosystems? And what credits do I have on my cards if I purchase through their portal or whatever it may be? And I'll start looking for hotels. Now, I really try to get hotels that are fully refundable so I can change my mind. And usually it's slightly more in points or in cash, but if they're fully refundable, you can get your stuff back and you can change if you find something better. I'm big on having optionality in all of this. So that's the next step is I start looking for our hotels and where we're going to stay. If I can, the optionality to cancel and change my mind at a later date. The next thing I look at is excursions. So Nona and I, we like to do either excursions or kind of specialty things. We like to go to a Broadway type place. So if we're staying in London, there's a lot of that available there. We'll do that. When we were in Madrid a couple years ago, we went and saw Beauty and the Beast, not realizing it'd be in Spanish. I know we should have realized that, but it was still just a lot of fun. So we might book stuff like that. Or we'll book excursions through Viator. A good hint is Viator, if you use Rakuten or if you use American Airlines Shopping or a lot of these different ways, you can get a lot more points for your stuff with those options. So keep that in mind. But that's what we do next. And generally those are cancelable. Most of the things that we've booked are, but not always. But yeah, I still try to look for cancelable things if I can in case we change our mind. But that's kind of our next step. The next step after that is we look for kind of the interdestination transportation options. So basically for trains and things like that, sometimes a little short flights, but mostly for train travel. So we'll look, and the reason that I don't worry about this too much till late in the process is because train travel, especially in Europe and in Asia, it can be very easy to do. So they've got lots of options. I mean, trains leaving like every 20 minutes or 30 minutes or every hour. So I don't feel like I have to do this early in the process. I can do this later and sometimes even after we get to our destinations. That's why it's so late in this overall process. And then kind of the last step in all of this is that all along through the whole process, I'm double checking to see if I can get better deals. So on anything that I had that was cancelable, I'm always reevaluating. So if the initial flight was a placeholder flight, I'm looking for that premium or business class flight, and then I'll cancel the one, book the other. And so I do that all through the process. I look for better hotels, cancel the one, book the other. Because that way, when it finally gets time for the trip, usually I've worked my way up to a much better trip than I initially booked in the first place. And that's kind of an overview of our process when it comes to booking our flights and our vacation and just kind of going through the process of what it means to do some of this aspirational travel. Well, down below in the comments, if you would, if your process looks a little different, if there's a step that you add that I missed, please put those down below because certainly I want to learn from you because I want to do it the very best way that I can. And that's why I put out this video, hopefully to help you in that process as well. If you would consider my channel membership, it's just $2.99 a month. You can cancel anytime to become an RM Insider, and you receive special videos just for channel members. I put those out every week. Also, I do most of my videos as an early release for my channel members before everybody else gets access. And I have a Discord channel. And then I have a higher tier. It's $19.99 a month, but it is called Spreadsheet Warriors. And you get everything from RM Insiders. And also you get direct access to me through once or twice a month. We have Zoom calls and we can talk face to face and strategize. You can ask questions. We can learn from one another. It's just really a great community. So consider both of those. There's a link down below and also the join button will get you there as well. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you for being here, and I will see you here next time.